You wouldn't recognize it. Let's see here. Text box. XRP Google Trends. And this would be potential bearish divergence. With a higher low, a lower high here. And I think price actually just barely made a higher high. So, and this correlates with kind of the network addresses for XRP too. So see if I can find that. Coin metrics. Update my refund. Let's see here. Let's go XRP. XRP. Matrix. Let's do something like, I don't know. TX count. Try that. How about active address count? Yeah, let's do those. Okay. Log. It's not really showing much there at all, really. Huh. Crazy. I thought it was much more than that. Oh, it's just probably the act. Huh. When was this? Oh, January of 24. That was a while ago. This isn't really helping. This might here. Yeah. Did you get it figured out? Oh, you did. Okay. Quality or no? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. But the people watching though, I think it's gonna look. Oh, what the fuck? Well, that's weird. Huh? There may have been bad data or something.
What's that?
Weird. So I'm looking at the fee. Well, you know what? I take that back. Let's try this. I was looking at the fees for XRP. Let me try it one more time here. It just didn't match. I don't even know why I'm on here. I shouldn't be in Trading View. Um, yeah. Okay. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I wanted to see. Are you able to see the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, I'm on this live.
I just see this XRP chart.
Yeah. So this is the fee, and I would take this as just a way to one way to kind of measure the number of transactions, right? On
Yeah.
XRP. I don't know how the fee rate works. It's not very much money, so it's like, what are we talking here? $1,700 a day in fees. But
Imagine if price just followed this again.
oops. That's what I'm kind of wondering, right? So you take if you take this, knowing that the network spiked December, right? And then use this as kind of like an indicator of what the network's doing. it's dropped off and back to the base here. Now we go to Google Trends. Okay, I have the Google Trends in an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, here. So I took the data from Google Trends, put it in Excel, and you can kind of see that the interest, right, is showing us bearish divergence. So you can see that, yeah, December was likely the top for XRP,
Yeah,
right? And
didn't
this
price
thing's
make a
just
higher high
continually.
slightly?
Yeah, it did a little bit. Yeah, so we could go look at that here. Let's go look at that. Let's see here. XRP USD Binance. And I need to turn all this shit off here. Turn all this off. Okay, turn that off, and then we'll turn this on here. Yeah, so you know what? I actually can. We can actually add that in here. Fee, right? Because you can get that same. Some of that same data is available in trading view. Anybody can get it. It's just there. So kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be like a leading indicator, but man, it sure is hinting what could imagine. Dude, just imagine what happens. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. Sorry.
Well,
I mean, look, what if, dude? Oh, yikes.
well, there is
What
no
would
growing
happen then?
demand for the network. I don't think it's grown since 2017. I think it eventually goes back. Who knows, mate?
Well, I mean, there is growth. I mean, there's definitely growth. I mean, it's doing something. I mean, you can see it, right? I mean, it's definitely going like this. I don't know if you can say it's. I mean, is it real? I don't know. Maybe. But look at that. I mean, what if that does happen?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility, and the it's just bad risk reward. The only people that are excited
Yeah,
about it are just
yeah,
straight TA guys.
yeah. Well, yeah. So, I mean, from a TA perspective, we can go look at that. I mean, it's. I don't know why I just did that. It was already there. The thing that they're probably seeing is that yeah, there was a really good breakout. So let's see here. Let's do candles. This is day. This is 3 day. Let's do the daily. Uh, oops. Yeah, daily looks good. So I mean, a lot of guys were drawing. Maybe they were drawing like a 2 or 3 day or something or a weekly. Yeah, something like that. You can just see it was compressing. Um, we saw this chart last year. A lot of traders saw this chart. It was being posted all over on X, and then it was just one of the ones that broke out. Right. So clearly, it was clearly this is where everyone entered, or it this is where it happened. Let's see here. Let's go. Yeah, white's good. Go yellow.
Well, what's interesting to me is, yeah, you had like a lot of people who fundamentally believed in it, like a big community that was averaging in over time. And then you had kind of like the
Yeah.
perfect news catalyst, plus the
Yeah.
swell of influencers and people promoting it all
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of similar, but this consolidation much longer, and this has got a lot of variability into it, compressed, right? So you knew that this was being accumulated here. Okay, this breakout though wasn't that strong because it went right to the top, um, and so this probably means that a lot of these people exited here, right? They're exiting here. and it didn't even break out. I don't know why I mean, if the network was if you had the network showing you that maybe it should go higher, which so this is where you kind of have to in this model. I got to turn off some things, but the ones I want to look at is like I just don't trust some of the data I get from XRP, so I'm just going to turn on new addresses and active addresses in this model. It's the network value model. Um, let's go like this so we can see. Yeah, that one's pretty good. Um, I'll leave. Let's turn this one on too, so you can see it. Active addresses. So, oops. And this is really supposed to be a Litecoin stream, but it turns into an XRP stream. But I would say that XRP has been overvalued, overvalued, getting close to maybe where it should be, and then maybe at value or still slightly overvalued. But the reward, there's just no reward up here. It's down here. Like this is where it should probably go, or maybe this is where it should go. Um, and the reason for that is just kind of taking it. Let's just look at one of them because it's very similar. So let's just do the new addresses. See, I think that XRP. You should have XRP in the stream name, dude.
I just added it as a tag.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. So you kind of see like when this thing rolls over, I'm just grabbing this trend line here and just kind of continuing it over. Maybe it's something like this. Looks top heavy. I mean, it's maybe it actually does go more like that. Whatever. The point is to show you that the exuberance fades. So and it looks like it's happening here, happened there, um, and even here potentially now. So, and then you couple that with the XRP fee signal, which is kind of weird. Like it already is dumped. It's just and you can do something like this just for fun, just so you kind of, you can see it with your own eyes, but sometimes it's good just to highlight it. You kind of tell it's like you can kind of see it there. So yeah,
Well, yeah. Now
top,
now compare
top, top.
Litecoin price to network activity, and the unique thing
Yeah, yeah, we could do that.
is that there's zero hype and
Advantage.
most of the
Yeah,
adoption
no
is
hype.
organic. So if there is a breakout, you'll see that same
Oh,
type of
yeah.
vertical move in Litecoin transactions. But at least you know now it's kind of at the floor baseline.
Yeah, so how we just showed that XRP's fees went down. Look at Litecoin's fees. They went up. Now the weird part about the fee is it's not the fees is not going up because the blockchain is constrained or congested. It simply is going up because either maybe they're not using SegWit for the transactions, or maybe it's a different wallet provider or an exchange. The odd part, though, is that when you look at, I think we can see it. Can we see it? Transaction count? Yeah, we can. When we look at the transaction count for Litecoin, though, it's like a 190 or 200, 190. Oh, maybe there's a little bit curl up there. Oh shit, maybe there was a little curl up. Kind of interesting. Let's just a little. Oh yeah, there's a curl up there. Okay. All right. So, let's see, so maybe 10,000 transactions were on a different exchange or a different wallet. a new wallet. Maybe somebody got added and they charged a higher fee. The network doesn't. You can get all your transactions through it, the base fee rate. So for whatever reason, somebody's. I can show that too. Let's go look at it. There was a bug. I talked to Loshan about it. He was get it fixed. I'll show you what that bug is here in a second. Come on. Okay. So this is I think the square represents, I think, the size of the transaction. That was actually removed. Okay. We got to do one with like, here, I'll show you. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So on the left-hand side, this is what the miners build. They get all these transactions in the mempool, and then they build the transaction. And you can see that this transaction didn't go through in this block for whatever reason. You see that?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So this transaction was, let's see here, virtual size 17 virtual bytes. Yeah, virtual bytes. And the fee was okay. See the fee rate 66 lits per V byte. Dude, you could put 1 lit per V byte. You don't have to send it at 66.
What, did somebody batch a
I
bunch of
don't think you have to.
transactions at that same fee level?
Maybe let's try it. Yeah, well, so yeah, your brush, yeah, but see when you submit this though, unless I'm reading this wrong, like when all my transactions, you can just send it at 1 lit per V byte. Like it'll go through at one. So they're overpaying by 66 lits or 66 a multiple of 66. So I don't know, maybe there's something to it, but it yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe you're forced to do that when you have this many, but could be. What was this, dude? Huh.
I have no idea. Maybe they're experimenting with LitVM.
Oh, well, see, they're taking a bunch of small transactions. Like, they're actually, maybe it's an exchange. Like, cause over 20, these are some bigger, there were some big ones in here 13, 16, 22, 26. And then they consolidated into one at 193. So, the point was, though, I guess if I go back, was that, um, yeah, you see on this side, there's an error. It doesn't show you the actual fee rate. There's like a glitch. It says 0. It's not right, but so that causes fees. Um, and you can see the blocks aren't full. So you're not bidding for fees. Here's one that has, here's some, I don't know what this one had in it. Huh. Yeah, whoever this is, I mean, maybe that's just what you have to pay, but these are all 65, 60. Oh, look at this. Oh, here you go. Okay, that says 1.1. That's actually what you'd expect. 1.1 or 1.2. Yeah, those ones are all set right. Four. See, so this is like somebody's overpaying, but whatever. Um, Anyways, let's go back. So it looks like in most recently in these transactions, for whatever reason, they probably overpaid because this hasn't changed too much. So I was kind of hoping it was like maybe a signal of something coming. It could be a signal still, but um, either way, the fee rate went up, so it helps miners. But kind of what we're expecting for Litecoin is that it's basically at a point where it's going to start. I think going to start going. You and I think this obviously it's going to start rolling up, and we can do kind of a fun exercise to see where it might go. Let's turn this on to something a little bit better. Let's go with white.
Well, I think it'll be interesting because if we get the fundamental demand catalyst, like that's a possibility. If we see a blow off in Bitcoin, I think Litecoin just from that alone could double again in transactions daily. So that would take it equal to Bitcoin. But if LitVM
Yeah.
starts to produce some something, right? It
Yeah,
could be compared to
something.
Ethereum
Yeah,
smart contracts, right? People might get excited about it because price is going up and people start experimenting or using their layer 2 stuff, which would
yep,
create a lot of transactions. And then just the speculation, right? The change in narrative would drive speculative transactions. So Litecoin has a lot of catalyst to
potential.
push itself way ahead
Yeah,
of Bitcoin. Because it's really not far away. It's a 2x move. And it has a very strong base. And this is like a 8-year
uh-huh.
ascending triangle with it pressing up against resistance. You could see a massive
Yep,
explosion in transaction activity.
dude, totally.
Whereas all these other chains is just a hype pump, right? XRP transactions went up during the craziest influencer campaign we've ever seen for XRP, and then
Yep,
dumped back
it's
down.
everywhere, dude. It's
This
like a virus.
Litecoin is grinding at the top of like near its all-time high, and there's like
Uh-huh.
less search interest than 2013. So it's the complete opposite picture, with the most compelling
Oh
narrative
yeah,
of
dude.
price. Um, I kind of hope Litecoin solo
Yes.
rallies
Yeah,
here.
it's gonna be a solo shot, dude. Just be in the spotlight. That's the way this is looking. I mean, and that's why it might be kind of brutal. Where, it, I mean, Bitcoin went up kind of on its own for a while there. So I don't think it's hard to imagine where these other chains can just go sideways or down. So what I was showing here was up on the top. So the white is the number of transactions per day, 194,000. Bitcoin's right now around 400,000, so about 2x. And since these chains are very similar, Litecoin's just 4 times faster. You can basically, sorry, has 4 times the capacity on the base chain, but there's also the extension block. So we can actually see where Litecoin would start finally getting some fee pressure, and that's going to happen up into the 2 to 3 million range. So how did I come up with those numbers? I just took Bitcoin's current historical transactions, and really though, this thing can reach capacity. And this is Bitcoin right here. It's reached capacity down in the 300s. Only most recently, I think, with SegWit and the ordinals, you saw these kind of come up a little bit higher, and it pushed Bitcoin even up to 893,000 transactions per day. So it's like 2.5x. But you start getting into this area and you got fees above this line. Really, I should maybe do that. I don't know if that's, probably should actually. So maybe around 1.4, 1.5, Litecoin gets some fee pressure um, up into this three. But what the secret weapon that no one really understands is that Litecoin is two chains in one. And so it has a blow off. I don't know what exactly. I think it's a dynamic in a way. It's weighted so it can increase the blocks as it's being used. But you have MWeb here, right? So what that's really telling us is that you might this thing could actually go crazy. Like it may get up into the millions of transactions per day.
Well, good. I mean, full
So
blocks fees won't rise until it is 10x higher from here. 2 million transactions a day. It's not crazy
yeah,
in a mania, right? What did Dogecoin
yeah,
increase from?
it's transactions.
Yeah, in
Is
what
that what you're saying?
percentage terms? Because
Oh, I don't know.
and there was no organic catalyst. That was just a real like meme driven rally. It went from 20k to
Let me print
300,
some of this stuff off.
right? Or no,
Yeah.
never mind. That's not.
Let's find this. Where's Dogecoin? Oh, right here. Yeah, so
Actually,
Dogecoin.
it didn't
Oh,
even do
that's
much.
it? Did nothing, dude. Jeez Louise, dude. 70,000? Man. Dude, so much bigger, so much higher. That is ridiculous, dude. So Litecoin actually is going to get real network adoption, like continued network adoption, which Doge really never saw. This is all ordinals junk. Like this isn't. I mean, you can see the network. Maybe something's going on here though. Like I don't want to discredit it. Um,
But what's the
there is something
catalyst
going
for
on
people
here.
to use Dogecoin? There's nothing. It's like it's a lower network effect Bitcoin chain basically,
Yeah,
and
it
Litecoin
is.
has
It's a
a
lower level.
10x
Yeah,
lead.
yeah,
It's just gonna be hard, right? That's why it was so hard for Litecoin in the first these
yes,
like last 15 years
yes,
or whatever.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And actually, look at this. Actually, it looks like when it went up in value, it actually hurt it. See that? Look at Doge. It kind of went lower. The bear market.
Yeah.
See how Litecoin kind of gained? See this gap?
Well, it gained and held because of the Bitcoin fee level. It's always like it held and
Doge actually had more transactions. Look at that. You see that? Doge had more transactions here. See that?
but I think those are probably mostly just meme random.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, still transactions, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Litecoin caught up to it. They caught up right here together, and then now they split.
yeah, Litecoin's the second
And
Bitcoin chain.
yeah, yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, and maybe Doge can become the third. We'll see.
Yeah, if
There's
there's
a story here.
continued
There's a big story
demand.
right here, dude. Yeah,
Well, there's a huge story. It's just this market is
yeah, huge. I should say. Yeah, yeah,
distracted.
yeah. So let's do. Oh, oops. Oh, I gotta delete all this stuff, dude. I can't handle it. It's on there. Bothers me. Okay. So back to Litecoin. There's a low. Oh, right there. Perfect. Bring that in here. Okay. So what we're going to look at now is the just one of the you can get this indicator on TradingView. It's the master Litecoin network value model. A lot of the other models are gone because the data got removed. Glassnode shook us out. They removed all this Litecoin data, I don't know, a year ago. So I had to find something else. Luckily, into the block showed up, used their data. They just went away. So all we have left is coin metrics. Um, and I really think that just looking at the new addresses and trend and the active addresses is probably adequate enough to just give us a direction of where it can go and kind of where it's been before. This is an exact science. It just shows you another way that represents the growing divergence from Litecoin's network value, Metcalfe's law, um, and its price. And this just represents that divergence. You can kind of see it here, clear as day, right? So at some point, these are going to probably come back. They're going to converge. And one of the ways that we can maybe I should, yeah, let's show that too. So one of the ways that I think this model has some accuracy to it is when I add Dogecoin to it. Let's find Binance here. I should add its network value model too. Yeah, I gotta do that. Doge network value model right here. Let's just turn on. Let's just do the same. Let's just do active addresses. And so what this model does is that it looks at the active addresses of each network compared against Bitcoin at an equivalent Bitcoin price, normalized with supply too. So basically, let's fix this. I gotta make it the same color. I just don't like it like that. Okay, here we go. Um, and I've done this with other networks. We did Ethereum last time, even with XRP and others. There's some correlation to the network, um, like usage or growth compared to its price against Bitcoin. Like it's not exact, right? This is also log scale, but it kind of gives you some potential understanding how fair, how val. I guess there was the network trend. What's the one you looked at a lot? The the NTV, is that what it is?
NVT. It's like network value to transaction model. I always,
Yeah,
yeah, if you can
yeah,
sort
similar to
out
that.
the speculative stuff. NVT is it's
Yeah.
weird because in crypto it's like generally uh like when the NVT goes down, it's usually a time to sell, but that's like when the network's doing way more transaction volume, it's just all speculative. But
Oh,
if you
oh,
can understand the context and know that
mhm.
like in a bear market, if NVT is going down, that means the network's growing organically in monetary demand, which is bullish. Uh,
Yeah,
but usually in
that would
these
be cool.
blow off crypto cycles, NVT goes down a ton because you see like massive amount of coins being sent to exchanges to dump.
Hmm.
So
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
if you can take it, understand what it means in context, then it's useful. And I think Litecoin's organic monetary demand is going up, so the real NVT should be decreasing. Uh,
yeah,
and it's possible if Litecoin does gain this real demand that we've been expecting on top of the speculative demand. Yeah, the it's going to be a crazy move in NVT ratios. Is that the Doge? Oh, that's the Doge fractal.
yeah. I'm gonna make it transparent so I can kind of just. This isn't exact, but it just kind of gives you an idea. Let me make sure this is visual order, bring to front. Oh, I thought it would show it like that a little bit better. Um, yeah, okay, so the fractal kind of aligns. Likeone's going a little bit slower, it looks like. And I'm just scaling this here. So why am I scaling it much bigger is because I'm trying to line up the blue underneath of it. You can kind of see that right here. Um, here, right here. See that? So it's like the same starting point, and I know it's going to make a big ass number, but you have to be aware. I don't know if it's going to go that high, but it it just to get similar perspective of where it is and what it would look like. I mean, we're talking potentially like when flipping Bitcoin, like being known as the Bitcoin, it's being known as the best version of the Bitcoin white paper, and so
What
this
price
is
do you
really
think all
extreme.
what price do you think all the Trump guys and all those like charlatans will want to buy at 5K?
I don't even know, dude. I don't know when they capitulate. But okay, so just if you don't look at price to the right, um, this looks like something it would do. I think it's pretty extreme. Obviously, it's too extreme. Uh, but that's kind of what Doge did. So we could maybe bring it back to reality a little bit. Even if we were just to grab this 1 to 1, this fractal 1 to 1, something like that, right? Just even something as simple as that. I mean, you're talking. I mean, this would be 18,000, 19,000, and maybe it's here, right? So that's like 21,000. But remember, though, the reason that I think we're going to go higher, I think you're going to go higher than this, unless Bitcoin just totally tanks, right? I'm kind of assuming that Bitcoin holds this 60 to 100,000. Maybe it goes higher. I'm not thinking Bitcoin goes to anything higher than one. I don't think Bitcoin's going to go higher than 124 anytime soon. I think the high's in for Bitcoin. I think it's going to be range bound, max pain for these guys for a while. That's where I think we are. It's kind of my base case. I could be wrong, obviously, but I would love for Bitcoin to tromp up to 140. I just don't think they're going to get it. At least not now. Yeah, sure. I think maybe in a couple years that could happen, but I think they're stuck. I think they're going to be stuck for a while. It's like Litecoin was stuck. Like just like Litecoin was stuck here for 2 or 3 years, Bitcoin could be stuck there. Big Bitcoin SHA 256 10-minute could be stuck here. Go sideways between 70,000 and 90,000, right? And all those people have to justify why they own it. They can do it, but will they do it? No, they're not.
Yeah,
A lot of
nobody
them are going to
buying.
fold. A lot of them are going to leave.
I think because the momentum's been so strong for so long, and it's just been inflation driving Bitcoin in a popularity
Uh-huh.
contest. It might stay range bound longer than Litecoin
For
did.
a decade.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a decade.
unless monetary adoption just
Especially,
increases a lot, but
yeah, yeah, exactly, dude. So that's the thing. Plus the other things that, you and I talk about, if those come true too, look out.
well, people are only
Okay,
interested in
so
it because the number go up, and when yeah, it takes more and more
yeah,
money each time. People are still think Bitcoin's the safest, like best risk reward from here.
they do. Yeah, yeah, they
That'll
really
change
do.
over time. It just takes time.
Okay, this is more reasonable. I like this. So this time probably could have grabbed the bottom, but what I did was I took the top. I took the top here and I just put the top over here. Okay. So why is it not always in front? Okay. This is what I think is going to happen. I really do. Uh Not exactly, maybe higher, maybe lower. 84,000 would be a really good number. Um, it's 81, I guess. 81, 84, right in there. 83, 84. Um, this is what I think is going to happen. This is my base case. This is something like this. Litecoin's going to go vertical, won't stop into whatever this month is right here. Q1, Q2 of 2026. Okay. Then goes into a bear market and stops around a number like 8,400. Okay. Everybody who everybody who sold here, because they will here, a lot are going to sell here, right? And some are probably going to sell around this, whatever this is, 1,200 to 2,000, right? I've seen people, they won't be able to hold, but they're going to sell all through here. And then you're going to get buying when it goes up into here. They're going to go, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. We screwed up. And it's just going to skyrocket up into this because you can kind of already tell where it's going to go. I mean, we can see, even if we don't use the Doge fractal. I really shouldn't use these stupid lines. Even if we don't use the Doge fractal, we can use it another method, and I'll show that one to you too, because there's multiple ways to do this, and you should do that, right? You shouldn't always just take one method to come up with an answer when it comes to this kind of stuff. So what I've noticed every time in these bull markets is that the network value model rises kind of in this parabolic move like this wave. Okay. And I just noticed that when I take it and I apply it to every other bull market, it's very similar. Now, this time the magnitude wasn't as high. Okay. So then we probably have to readjust. We're probably not going to do that again. Maybe we will. Um, but a reasonable mind would assume that the same thing would occur again. It's not, this is not unreasonable at all for you to think that when price goes up, the network could do something like this. Do I think it's going to go this high? No. So maybe it's here, maybe it's half. Let's just go half. Either way, it doesn't matter because it's so far away from where it could go. And we can see that this thing has done it before, went right up into it. So this isn't crazy, guys. Like these price predictions, they're grounded. They're grounded. So you have these two here. You could even argue, and I would argue that if there wasn't so much other crap that got in the way last cycle, that all the proof of stake bullshit that is garbage, um, Litecoin could have easily gone up into here, right? You could even we could probably even forecast these circles over here to kind of get an idea, right? So yeah, see that? It's almost like it could have easily shot up into there and then came back down. So you can almost imagine that this that today we should be up into this area. Even if it creeped up into there, we could be right here right now. So we'd be around $1,200, right? Which doesn't sound crazy. 1,200 versus a Bitcoin at 100,000. That sounds reasonable. But what happened was is that maybe some of that went over to Dogecoin. It's possible. So you have this area here, which now Litecoin has that same area. I call this an opportunity. There's an opportunity. Now you're going to notice that Litecoin is much bigger. This is a much bigger opportunity, and Dogecoin is a secure Bitcoin chain, but it had a lot. It was mainly just speculative for the most part. And I think with Litecoin, you're actually going to get some actual utility and usage as it being the money. So the point of that is that I think that the move here could be as big, if not bigger, than the Dogecoin move. Okay, because it's like a real valid. This is this is. Oh my god, it's going to be so big. I can't even handle it. It's ridiculous. You guys are in for it. If this thing goes, it's going to be just absolutely bananas, dude. Okay, so let's go back to forecasting with the circles. Let's do that here, and something like that. Okay. So reasonable mind. Look how the crazy part is. Look how perfect that looks. Okay. It's so good, so good. Oops. Let me try and grab these here. Boom. Oops. Come on. Did I hit the right button? There it goes. Okay. Now we're going to do this again. We'll do this. Oops. One more time. Paste. One more time. Here we go. Okay. So now you're going to notice something here that the timing is definitely off. Okay. There's that. Let's do this here again. So this cycle is longer or over. Pick one. I'm going to go longer. You put this one here, puts it there. Okay. Pretty close. And then you even have the circle out here, which is kind of nice. So let's go right here. So if the cycle is a little bit extended, which is possible that it could be, a move like this up into this area, even, okay, let's bring it down into that circle range. So, the upper end, 29, there's 32,000, lower end, 9,000. right? So this seems reasonable to get up into this here. And this would happen pretty fast, like 5 months, maybe 6 to 9 months, maybe 3 or 4 months. Hard saying. Uh, I don't think Litecoin stays down here much longer once it breaks out. And it could even go higher, right? So you're talking into 2030, 2029, 2030, into the hundreds of thousands, like, I don't know, staying there. So, yeah, so I think that part set up. The other part about the Dogecoin was that this active model went right into that model. It shot right up into that blue, which is pretty impressive. Okay. So it's not hard to imagine that Litecoin would go right into that blue. And today that blue is 12,250 or so. So the other thing to consider is that both of these coins, so Doge is down here and Litecoin is up here, is that both of these coins share a common mining ecosystem. They're Doge is merged mined with Litecoin. So kind of weird if the value rotated out of this one, out of Litecoin into Doge. It's kind of what it looks like, right? I mean, it kind of looks like the value of Litecoin aligned for the most part, and then started to separate. And then with Doge, the value was underneath of it, and then whoop, right into it. And maybe it's starting to separate again. Maybe it separates. And I just don't think Litecoin stays separated. I think this pattern, uh, this pattern here, we can even see it if we pull up XRP from before. Let's see, Binance is another good one for that coin. Let's go here. And let's turn off the short value models. Let's get rid of them. Yeah, let's kill them. Okay. Oops. Delete, delete, delete. Okay. We can see that in the 2017, moves like that isn't hard to imagine. That can happen. Okay. So there's Litecoin's move, something like that. Um, kind of similar to Dogecoin's move in a way, right? Really similar to the 21 move. Okay, so we'll grab that. Oops. We'll grab that fractal. Oops, there it goes. And we'll kind of overlay that here with XRP. XRP kind of made two different legs, separated out a little bit. And I think that's the case that a lot of people are in right now. They think XRP is going to make its second leg up. I don't think that's going to happen now. I was watching. It's possible. Maybe it did do that, but I don't think now it's going to do that. I think it's over for XRP. So you have that big fractal there, and you're going to notice these fractals. What do you all see on these fractals is that compresses really tight. Okay, and then it does this. If you look closely, you can kind of see it kind of goes up and then dumps. Okay, this one's kind of hard to tell, but it does go up and then dumps. And then you look here, up, dump, and then where are we at now? This is pretty big. Like, unless this is the up and dump, could be, or maybe this is the up and dump, and this is the vertical, which I think that's what's happening. But it does need to happen soon, though. or this is another one of those little dumps, and this is the final one. It's possible this is the little dump, and then the pump. But either way, you can see that these things compress down, kind of compresses down here. So see you, Flanders. And then, yeah, here too, right? Like that. And now Litecoin's doing the same thing. But the thing about Litecoin is like it's pretty big. Like this is, you can almost say it's this 8 years of that. This was just like a 3 year cycle. 3 years, 2, 3 years here, 2, 3 years here, 2, 3 years here. This one's kind of like what Doge or XRP was like, where it's, you know, like this. And the other thing though is that Litecoins is an ascending triangle, and XRP was more of a symmetrical triangle. And I think this one is a better uh, better in that regards, that it would be accumulating much more at the lower end. Then up here it's kind of like, and maybe my thinking's flawed, I don't know, but I'm just talking out loud, that this upside just seems so much more potential here, that when it gets up here, and if it does break out, that it would go even higher. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I'm thinking. So
Well, you've seen it happen. I mean, there's evidence historically that that's that type of setup is more bullish technically. But I think if you overlay the fundamental strength, and if you believe in permissionless money long term will grow, then
yeah,
it's like the only discounted chain you can find in the whole space.
yeah, it is the only discounted chain. Yeah, yeah, and I just simply 1 to 1 grab those fractals and overlay them on here, and you're going to get a box that is something like this, right? So that's 10,000 to 34,000, just based on the previous moves we saw before, and so it is possible. Like we've had those moves before, if those networks kind of justify it, right? So and let's just turn it on. Let's just turn on the Litecoin network value model again, and let's just see if that's in that box. Look, kind of weird, right? So you're also getting confirmation um, from these previous cycles and the network growth. Like the network's growing. The blue represents Litecoin's network against Bitcoin, against its price, so it is influenced by the price also. But if we overlay, the network value model, what it's done before historically, we're in the fourth phase. This is the fourth cycle. There's one right here too. So, I mean, it's pretty close. Like boom, boom, boom. You can almost could have said that maybe this was a start of the cycle here. Um, it could have been, and maybe it got knocked down. You see that? It's possible. I don't know. Or maybe Bitcoin just got knocked down here. I mean, that'd be odd to have the cycle start so soon, I think. Well, maybe not. Let's look at it. Let's just look, because it's the right thing to do. Let's go like this. Oh, maybe that's kind of, oh, that's weird. Look at that. So there's that. Let's do it one more time, because we can look at the previous cycles overlaid. Should be right here, right? Yep. So there's that. Oh, wow. Oh, this is kind of odd. We're almost into the next cycle. Weird. Huh. That's kind of fascinating. I never actually looked at this.
Well, I don't know. It's possible. I mean, I think
Yeah, because this is on the weekly. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's weekly,
Well, I think at
but
some point, like, this market diverges. I think a lot of the stuff can
yeah,
decline quite a bit while a few rise. But we're still like,
2028. Jeez, dude.
I still think we're tied to these larger macroeconomic cycles.
Yeah,
Eventually, there should be this like turning point where certain cryptocurrencies that are actually permissionless rally into declining financial, like broadly financial asset prices. I think there will be an inflection
yeah,
point like in 3 to 5 years
yeah. I agree.
where it's literally
Litecoin should be the winner.
because of interest rates rising, high degree of quantitative easing, money printing, that it spurs adoption, and we change from this Ponzi game
Hmm.
casino to
Hmm.
like real
Hmm.
mass adoption.
Yeah, it's exciting times, man. If you understand Litecoin.
Or just understand, I think understand Bitcoin. If you understand Bitcoin,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
then Litecoin, to me, the better description of it is just Bitcoin 2.
yeah,
Because it,
yeah,
if you, a lot of people think it's something else or something way different. I remember the community telling me that like forever. Nobody would even, they were all marketing it as something different because the casino market wanted like a narrative that it does something different. So
yeah,
like the whole Litecoin community for so many years was trying to tell me like,
yeah.
no, it does all these things different, has these advantages. But realistically, its greatest strength was what the market considered its greatest weakness to be. It was so similar to Bitcoin that it was most likely to be adopted when
Yeah.
Bitcoin couldn't scale.
Yep.
And
You
I
got
think
it, dude. You're right.
we've reached that turning point in sentiment. It's changed a lot within the
Uh,
community. That was my whole goal when I set up this account. And now I think it's pretty
yeah.
commonplace. Nobody really realizes how long it takes narratives to change or like when they exactly
Oh my God,
change.
years, dude. Yeah.
But it's like so slow that everyone kind of thinks like Bitcoin's always been a store of value or Litecoin's always been a second
Yeah, I
Bitcoin
think
chain.
Bitcoin's always been a store of value. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't remember the early days because they weren't paying attention or just slowly evolved over time.
Yep. You
And
did
so
change a
that's what's
lot of
gonna
minds
happen
on that.
with Litecoin when price goes up, when network stats prove it. People just always assume like, oh, it was always this Bitcoin chain, the most dominant
Yep.
one. And people will forget
Yeah.
how hard it was to be
Find
early.
that.
Yeah, find it
Yeah.
and
Yeah. To
disagree with the
find it.
majority
Yeah.
and get hated on forever.
Yeah. Well, even still now, let's look at that. I want to look at, how do I do that? Oh, here. Oh, I want to look at that chart I posted on the median. Just another way to look at it. Oh, this too, actually. Or this was it, actually. You guys see that? It's really small. There's a little lag, I guess, huh? Okay. Yeah, so this is on bitinfocharts.com. It's taking a look at the median transaction value in USD. And it's showing that Litecoin's around 200 to 225. And the reason we're using median, it removes the outliers, which removes the MWeb. So you're going to see people online. I've talked to a couple of them privately about it because what's happening is they're counting the MWeb blocks. They're being counted every time. So if you look at total USD transacted on chain, it's wrong. It's not right. But if you take the median, it should give you a better idea of what's actually happening. And and most recently in the past, I don't know, let's see, a week or two, Litecoin's like well above Bitcoin when it comes to that. So it's 225 versus $177. And this kind of like the first time it's happened a couple times, but this is the kind of the first time where it's been kind of drastic. And then Litecoin was rolling up. We could probably go. Maybe that's up to date.
I think
Actually, should
that's
we
why
just
there's
do it
this
live?
big debate and fight within the Bitcoin community right now of trying to remove spam. Like they all promoted it because they thought it was bullish for price, but maybe they're noticing this. Like a lot of the real activity moved on. And I'm sure the
Yeah.
fight's gonna be crazy within BTC if
Oh, you're gonna see
if
a fight.
Litecoin
Yeah.
becomes the
Right.
dominant Bitcoin chain, they will freak out.
Well, it is right now. I mean, it's not. So this is just median. It's not total yet, right? Because there's still more transactions on Bitcoin happening. So like its total volume is still higher, but it's kind of showing you what's happening here. And Litecoin's rising here. It's putting in the high. This is the I can't draw a line on here, but this was what two. So Litecoin's been around 200 to 210, 200, 210, really consistently. That's the other thing you'll notice is that and I should change the colors opposite. I think that's red or orange. That's blue probably. So look at Litecoin. It's like really consistent, like super consistent. And then starting to roll up here to me, like starting to rise up in the last 2 months. Okay. Bitcoin, starting to catch up though. Maybe they see what's happening. Um, but Litecoin's still higher right now today. So 224 to 214.
Yeah, and I think the
And this
OG people realize that a lot of this spam meme coin stuff on Bitcoin actually forced a lot of the activity off the chain. That's why Litecoin doubled from 100k daily to 200k daily, and they're realizing it,
mm,
and they're
mm,
trying to like politically censor what they call spam.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So Litecoin's now in this upper little, it surpasses what number is that? 220. So it's above 220. See right where the arrow's at. Really never crossed it until now. So that is what's today. What's that date? Does it tell you? Oh, right there, yeah. So on 993, let's say 95, 93, 94, 95, all above 220. We've never been above 220 in the past year. No, 3 months. Let's go back in time. Oh shit, we've done it before. I take that back. We've done that before. So we've done 238, 240. So we're kind of getting back into there, but it's kind of climbing up. Boom, boom, boom. Like what's the next couple of days going to print? Right? I mean, is this thing rolling up or is it, or maybe we're just going to find that maybe I think you've said this before. Maybe you're just going to have the median transactions around $200 because that's a natural. It's like a natural transaction value that people spend, right? I mean, you're not going to spend normally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Maybe the normal transaction median comes down to around 200 for a
Well,
currency.
I was just saying that before, like I've looked at transaction distribution within an economy for like the U.S. It depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but then you have to think about transaction distribution for permissionless money, and most of this is happening not in the Western world. It's happening overseas, in like
Oh.
developing nations where
Oh
they
yeah.
have no other option. But I would
Yeah.
imagine that like long term, like Bitcoin can only handle 400k transactions. Maybe it is always the most secure, but there are a lot of $1 million transfers. But it's just not that demanded today. There's no evidence that
Yeah.
it's all the high value transactions are speculators and gamblers.
Yeah.
But it's possible that in the future, if
You kind of see
governments,
that here, right? I mean, that's what this is showing is this probably a lot of speculation.
yeah, what I'd imagine though
It
is
went away.
when this financial system starts to falter, when the next round of QE happens and central banks lose credibility because they can't control interest rates, and the response politically will be capital controls, more heavy surveillance of the financial system, and keeping money inside countries. At that point, then you probably see higher value transactions start to move on chain because there will be
Yeah.
no other solution. But it's yeah, and in that scenario too, like if Bitcoin stays the dominant chain and moves up into these higher value ranges, it still might not increase in price
Oh
because
yeah,
Litecoin can
sure.
handle more transactions, and there's far more like mid high value transactions than there are high value transaction economy. So like the second chain in that mid value range could actually carry more total transaction volume and be at a higher price uh, than
Okay.
the most secure chain, if that makes sense. Like I just imagine this
Yeah, I think
happening
so.
in
Yeah.
like a very specific value range that each Bitcoin chain is monetized, uh, and that
Yeah. Okay.
whatever chain sends the most total volume will be worth the most in the long run, as the market figures out how to price these things.
And Litecoin set up for that.
Yeah, it's set up to capture to move up into this mid value range from this lower value range, and maybe Bitcoin just loses all of its real transaction volume because it's so full.
Yeah.
There's 250 million people just speculating on it that don't have any use, and they could clog the chain and force everyone to leave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's Bitcoin fees been doing? I
I don't know.
wonder.
They just moved kind of up like Litecoin did, but I don't know why. But there hasn't been much demand. It's
When I
kind of
look at
just
this,
gone sideways.
it's just when I look at this, it looks like it's close to teetering over every time, man. It's like I don't know. Okay, so the other thing I was going to try and show, if I could open it up, is let's try this here. It'll do it. How do I get that to load? Oh, here we go. Let's do this one more time here. I usually don't ever use this, so oh, there it is. Okay, so this is taking a look at. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. I think this is network value. No, this is MVRV. Yeah, okay. So let's turn on Bitcoin. Okay, and let's turn off the other stuff so we can focus on Bitcoin. Why I think Bitcoin has topped. Let's get rid of that out of the way. Or when I say top, like I don't think it's this blow off, dump really hard top necessarily, but maybe. Oh, why is it still up here? Oh, right here. Okay. I just get distracted. So, okay. This is kind of interesting. So this bottom line is 0.75, the MVRV, which is the what is MVRV? Is the market value? No, I don't know. Against the realized value. Yeah, so the current probably market value ratio. Yeah, so it's like a well, I don't know. It's the way to calculate, I think, is the last time a coin moved, that's registered as the price. Yeah, that's what it is. So it takes that, the price, the last time the coin was like when a UTXO was moved, it assigns a price to those. So it's like a moving average, basically. And so then you can draw a band. So the white is the actual MVRV of Bitcoin. And then the one below it is just like 75%, so 25% lower. But what you'll see is this. This is kind of fascinating. So every bear market bottom, it goes into that band of the MVRV and the 75%. Um, And it's done it every time. Every time. Okay. So if you're a smart investor, trader, and you're patient, I think you can probably assume that at some point Bitcoin will return to this band. And we can kind of project where that might be timing wise. So we'll do that. We'll do it again. We're going to add every cycle on here. So we can kind of just, oops. So we can develop an area potentially of where that might happen. So there's that one. And we'll do one more here. Do this one. Oops. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, there we go. And of course, the earlier cycles, they're up here, but I'm just looking more about the timing of it, more the timing itself. So it would be like this through, and you have 3 cycles. So that's a lot of data to look at. I think it's pretty reasonable. You can throw this one out because it's probably unlikely it's going to go that high. So I think we just default to the lower end one, but we know it's in between this. So you got in between here. And let's just draw some trend lines with, because it is kind of rising up to the right. So let's just do something like that. And then we'll do another one like, just kind of best fit eyeballs, right? So something like that. It really doesn't matter. This circle probably represents where Bitcoin could go in the bear market. I think pretty reasonably. So that is 145 on the upper end to 57. So it's a little overvalued potentially at the bear market. I mean, you could say 145, yeah, but it's probably more the lower end of this circle, where you draw the trend lines. So those trend lines would be like, I mean, today that's 39, 39 to 52, I believe. Yeah, 39.52 yeah, there you go. 39.52. Those are rising. By the time it gets to this circle, April of 2026, it would be around 79 to 61, 79, 61. Okay. Um, and then you start looking at this structure, and I think we've done this before, but start zooming in on this structure here. And so you guys realize that Bitcoin has gone to those bands every other bear cycle. Oops, did I get rid of the one that was vertical? Yeah. So that could start now, right? So October could be now, but we know the 4-year cycles have typically topped. They've all topped in the fourth quarter. So if people are thinking Bitcoin's going to top in the fourth quarter, that's not far away, right? So what makes you believe that you're going to be the last? Like you're going to like it's going to happen? Is what I'm trying to say. Like if you know that Bitcoin typically tops in the fourth quarter of the fourth year, are you going to buy it? No, you're not going to buy it. So maybe that's already happening now. You're going to sell it, right? So you're going to sell it. The question is, do you think that it had a blow off top where it's like exuberant and it's going to go into this crazy hard crash bear market? No, you're not, because that hasn't happened. It's been in a really nice gradual uptrend. We probably should turn on some candles because, yeah, let's turn some candles on. Um, it's really been in this channel here, and we'll be nice. We'll just do something like that just to kind of really give it some area to move around. So let's get rid of this because you can see it already did that. And what I noticed here, and I don't look at Bitcoin at all anymore. I used to chart Bitcoin all the time. I don't even care about Bitcoin. I don't really care what it does necessarily. Um, but I have looked when I did look at it. What I was seeing was this kind of fractal here. I think this is the one. Oops, what just happened? There it goes. I kind of noticed that Really, it was more like this. Yeah, let's draw it like that. There we go. This is the fractal I was looking at. So, uh, kind of see it here. This one definitely was a good push up, but again, kind of very similar looking top fractal-ish. And again here also, and I think now you're seeing the same one, like this. And you're going to notice that there's not a lot of energy into it anymore. It's kind of like a lower high in a way. Um, like the impulse isn't as strong, and it's definitely not parabolic, right? So you want to see like these are parabolic kind of moves. Early on was a parabolic one. This was really the best one right here, and this was the ETFs news. So that was the best impulse parabolic move. And then this one, there was one here too. So this is probably the Trump news.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump. Yeah, Trump. So again, you see these moves are parabolic, which are bullish moves, very similar in structure. Boom, boom, boom. Now you go here, not the same. Doesn't look the same. Looks bad. If anything, it looks like it's the other way. Looks like it's going over, which really was that fractal, I guess, kind of got erased, but it's like rolling over. So I think the top's in for Bitcoin. I think the top was 125. The top was there. Now I think we're in the crab, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, just stuck range bound. Maybe you go down into here and you really kind of punish some of these treasuries. Um, I don't know if that happens. I don't want it to happen, so I don't think it's going to. It's not my base case, but I kind of think it's going to float into here, like chop into here, and then I think it does go down into here. How low, I don't know, but 58. This would be anything under 72,000. I think is bad for MicroStrategy, so that kind of seems like a target that the
I
market
think
would
we
want.
get way lower than everyone anticipates. I don't know. I've
Well, keep
always
in
thought that
mind,
after
yeah, I mean,
this bull market that we'd finally see a flush of the whole
yeah,
crypto market. I don't know. The 10K
okay,
post triggered so many people that I think we go back somewhere there.
it did, it did, it did. So
I know what Bitcoin is. I know how inflated this asset's become solely on price momentum and strong narrative, and I know almost no
yeah,
one really knows what its value prop is. So,
yeah,
or how it's going to actually make a difference in the world. Uh,
yeah.
I
You're
don't
still
know.
thinking though that Bitcoin would go higher though, right? Are you still thinking that? I
I don't
mean,
even know anymore. But I was thinking we'd have a blow
okay,
off just because of the
yeah,
macro structure. Like, look at equities. Look at
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's to me it's the end of a long-term credit cycle, and typically you do get uh, blow-offs in those circumstances. So
yeah,
I don't know, but a blow-off in Bitcoin could just be like to 150, 170. Who knows?
yeah,
It's
Y-
so I think it's overvalued. I haven't thought about much about it uh,
yeah.
in a
Well,
while.
one thing I'm listening to a lot of people who have like that are been in the space, have a lot of knowledge, have a lot of wealth. I can kind of see them trying to build a narrative where it's like a super cycle, right? And they're calling for the $1 million Bitcoin. And maybe that is something that happens. There's like maybe the bear market for Bitcoin is pretty weak, if anything, because it never got overextended. It never got up into the
Well, I
this
think it's
upper
super
range. And
overextended from this like since 2009. Like this has been
oh,
one
okay,
continuous bull market in my head, and it's
yeah,
been uh, a result of the growth of all these exchanges worldwide, easy access, and a macro
uh,
environment that's conducive to just massive risk taking. And I think that
Yeah.
changes when interest rates finally go up. I think inflation moves out of.
Well, they're not. They're probably not going to go up for a while, though, right? I mean,
Well,
we're in the
eventually,
rate.
when you
We're
print.
entering the rate cutting.
I mean, they can't control it. That's the thing. When they lose control of rates,
Oh, I see.
when
Yeah,
and
I see.
political risk will become high. When
Yeah,
you get this reverse wealth effect, when inflation gets drawn out of financial assets, governments respond uh, more heavily with capital controls. I think all of that's going to happen eventually, maybe within the next 3 to 5 years. And the
yeah,
only solution they have is to print print money, but it should be the final stimulus, final round, where you go.
okay.
It's happened before. I mean, like in Weimar Germany, the same thing happened. Like inflation was driving financial assets. This is way more contained to a specific country because the dollar is worldwide, and that's why I think it's been able to extend so far and mask the reality that we're living in a giant bubble uh, for so long. But I think it follows these stages uh, where at first inflation is hidden in financial assets, and then eventually that trend breaks and the government prints massive amounts of money. You get like panic and preservation. People go buy real stuff, like the stuff they need in the next 12 months, real estate, things that are physical, and then you get crazy monetary expansion and total erosion of confidence in the money itself, and that's what I think ultimately happens with the dollar.
Okay.
Total erosion of confidence in all these central banks and governments. No ability, you can't control interest rates if your only tool is money printing, right? The market will set them based on the expectation of debasement. So I don't know that. I don't think we're gonna get this like the what some people are thinking, like institutions are here and therefore Bitcoin is just gonna go up continuously or like moderately range around with this continuous uptrend. I don't think so. I think they'll be the first to
Okay.
sell, and I think
Yeah,
they hold a ton of Bitcoin, and there's not going to be much of a bid
there won't
underneath
be.
it.
There won't
So
be. Yeah, there's a lot of air back
I
there.
think there's way more risk in Bitcoin than ever before. Even though it hasn't pumped into a blow off, it's at 120K, and it's lost
Yeah,
market share. And the
yeah.
bigger the speculative market gets, the bigger the threat to Bitcoin's long-term success, in my opinion.
Mhm.
What it's just a meme coin. It doesn't do anything. Like if you're using Bitcoin on any exchange or holding an ETF, you get no value uh, from it. And I think I think it's gone backwards, even though price has gone up in terms of
Well,
chances of success into the long term.
yeah. Okay, so playing on your idea, maybe it does go a little bit deeper. I kind of just went off this top fractal to where it's done it before. That would be down into 19,000 to 50,000. So, I mean, it hit 15,000 in 22, but man, the market was crazy and crazy then, dude. Like, yeah, I don't know. That whole market seemed fraudulent to me. I don't, maybe that pushed it up higher than it should have been. I don't know, or maybe it pushed it down lower than it should have been. I don't know the answer, but um, I do know that in those last, I was telling you earlier that this fractal here, this guy, the capitulation fractal, is the same every cycle for Litecoin. So here and here, same, like in every way. You can kind of see it with your eyes, very similar. Um, see that? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So definitely was the bottom, 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 bottom. It was kind of range bound here. Um, so this is the MVRV bands for Litecoin, and they're a little hot. I think there's seven, I think maybe, or eight, six or seven. Yeah, it's eight. Doge was eight, so I left it at Doge. Bitcoin's like four or five, but either way, if it's four or five or six or seven or eight, it's up here. And then if this starts cooking, this will go vertical. And I did that earlier with Doge. It's just yeah, I might have deleted it. I wanted to show it though. It's fine. Yeah. So what I wanted to show you was this: is if you just took the same this part here, let's just draw like yeah, fucking whatever, like that. It's fine. Uh, if you took this same, put it right here, but it gets you up into that range, right? I mean, so it's like Doge hit this band. If we can find that price on there, I think it hit it. Yeah, it came up into there. Not the whole way. Came right up into it though. Hit it here, and it's eight. I think it's eight. Yeah, it's eight. So Doge hit eight. It's MVRV twice or three times. So I think it's not unreasonable to use eight here. And if that's the case, like the top, I mean, that's 64,000. Doesn't have to go to that one, but 30,000 doesn't sound unreasonable. 20,000, 40,000. They're just not unreasonable targets, knowing with what you've seen before. Um, does it settle here? No, I'm talking like a crazy blow off, right? It's like, this could come down into a bear market, just like Dogecoin did. So it would look something like, I don't know, it's just maybe something like that, right? So maybe it's 4,000. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it's up here. I though when I see this, I guess if Bitcoin were to dump really hard, then maybe you could justify this would go lower because maybe this network value goes lower. I don't. That's not my base case at all, though. I don't think the network value for Litecoin drops at all. I think it actually goes skyrocketing because I think that's where we are. I think that Litecoin's so set up having two chains that this is going to go boom like that, and then I think it really. This is when I think it's going to flip Bitcoin, which is hard to imagine being $8 billion versus a $2 trillion asset. But I think that's what's going to happen. Does it happen overnight? No. Can it happen pretty quick? Yeah. The next 6 months, sure, it could. It's possible. But looking at the data in multiple different ways, using the MVRV, looking at Dogecoin, um, why? I mean, I don't own any Bitcoin. Why would I? I mean, I sold at the wrong time, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if I think where this is going to go, it doesn't matter, right? You should have been accumulating, learning about Litecoin if this happens, if it gets repriced. So that's kind of what I'm thinking that, I don't want Bitcoin to top necessarily here just for personal reasons, but um, I think it's likely that it has and it just goes sideways. Maybe even go sideways into this, not the lower circle. I think the upper circle's more reasonable just because it's where the trend's going to go and, it's holding value. There are institutions holding if they don't dump, right? If the institutions don't dump it, um, if there's not some weird thing that causes them to get out of it, then but this circle seems reasonable. It's similar to the other ones. You can also do something like this too. I haven't done this in a while, but before I've done it, I kind of lined up. So you can just draw like a line. Yeah, look how close that lines up. It's pretty bizarre. I mean, look at that. I don't know, man. Might be a signal right there. Actually, maybe this needs to come down just a hair. The other thing is I do these, I kind of just drew these on my own, just eyeballing them. But look at that. So, okay, let's just play this out. So let's say July, was it July on the top or was it August? Probably August was the top. So August, 12 months would be August of 26, right? So this would be like right here. Yeah, it looks reasonable. Why does that not line up right? Oh, there you go. Yeah, look at that. Look how cool that looks, dude.
Yeah.
Does that look perfect? Dude. I don't know. It looks beautiful to me. So we'll do something like this. Then you can kind of just go boom, tops, tops, tops. I haven't done this, by the way. This is the first time I've ever done this. So just screwing around. Tops. And then we'll do one more here. See, like, so this is where it's not really that far out of the range. So this is where part of me goes, shit, yeah, maybe they push this thing up. Maybe this thing does get pushed up, right? I mean, maybe my base case is wrong, and maybe this thing gets pushed up into this band. Yeah, yeah, it might be, dude. And I could see that happening. And then we finally get this. This would throw a lot of people out. This would screw up a lot of people, and this is more time. I don't know. It just so this case, this top would be like this then, and if that's the case, then this circle has to go down here because it doesn't have to, but these circles are so nice. It's definitely different. It's been neutered, dude. Bitcoin's been neutered. Um, See how that would look? Because these MVRB bands are interesting. It's not overheated. And this MVRB is at 200 ish. Doesn't have to hit it. Didn't hit it, only hit it here a little bit, but still gives you an idea though. Um, this thing's just been oscillating in these bands. Boom, 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 boom. A little bit lower, especially if Litecoin were to pop. It's still some of the spotlight from Bitcoin. Uh, so my base case though is that Bitcoin's topped, range bound, stuck. But I am open to the possibility of a larger something in 26, 27, too for Bitcoin. Um, and so then I guess if that happens, yeah, I don't even know, man. It'd just be stupid. I mean, you're talking big ass numbers for Litecoin. Like I think it. Oh, here's the other thing that I should show you is the interesting part. So since we have Bitcoin and Litecoin together on here, look at the blue comes up into this band. It kind of finds a little pressure on it when it hits it. It's right here, right here. Um, but it's getting closer to it. See, it's already right into it. You kind of see it's just, yeah, man, something big's about to happen. Ah, yeah, I think there could be a massive rotation.
Much longer. I think the max amount of time this goes is the Q2 next year. I don't.
Yeah,
So 9 months max.
you think so, huh?
I just don't think Litecoin's gonna break down much from here, and I think we're gonna break out.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, I think Litecoin's gonna go no matter what. Yeah, even if big, I don't see these bear markets though, like where Bitcoin's in this bad bear market. I just don't see that yet because it's not overextended. Is what I'm trying to say. That's just
Yeah,
my base case. I think
I'd
it's more
say
range bound, and institutions are going to just if institutions aren't forced to sell it, it's just going to be kind of like stuck sideways.
yep. Until the
Unless they're
macro
forced
environment
to sell.
changes. We'll see. I think
Yeah,
that probably happens sometime
yeah,
next year.
maybe. Yeah, Yeah, that was the other thing was like copper gold though. So the business cycles in the I don't know if I guess you'd call this maybe the economic cycles is what I would call this. So uh yeah, that's probably fine. Capital.com. Okay. Yeah, here you go. Let's just switch. Maybe that'll make it better. I don't know how to use this, but it's fine. Yeah, okay. So is this right? Uh oh no, it went away. Okay. Let's do it one more time. Copper, gold, gold, copper. This probably works right there. Capital.com. Hopefully, there's data on that. What's up with this data? Is it screwed up? Oh, auto. There we go. Okay. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly here. Oh wow, look at this thing, dude. It's because gold is going crazy. Is that why?
Yeah, and I
Dang.
don't really like these ratios too much because there's so many variables that affect both copper's price and gold's price, and gold's in a speculative like bull
Yeah,
market, like looking like it's gonna blow off. Uh,
he does. Yeah, it does. It's gonna blow off, doesn't it?
so I don't even know what to make of them. And then the economic cycle stuff, I think we have these smaller cycles that were driven by stimulus, but we're at the point where rate cut stimulus like are having lower impact on the real economy. So I don't even think we're gonna get anything close to what we saw in economic recovery after COVID. I think
I
we're
don't think
just
so.
gonna go sideways, bleed, and then bleed out.
Yeah, my
Yeah, if you look at ISM or
oops.
PMI.
Yeah, ISM. Yeah, sorry, that's what it is. ISM. Uh, how do I usually find this? Yeah, it's right here, right? Yeah, here it is. So this is let's move one of these to the left. Let's go over here and then yeah, that's fine. Good, good. And then we'll go like this. Draw this down. So I was trying to understand like the copper gold ratio and maybe why a lot of times the economic cycle was over when copper rises, and maybe that was just I was thinking maybe because you're building more and then the price of copper goes up. I really don't know, um, but there's something here though. There's got to be. It
I don't
just
trust it if I don't
seems like it.
understand like historical analysis. I think it's
There's been
helpful if
these
you know what's
4 year,
driving both asset prices. But it's been four
yeah,
years, just like Bitcoin was in a 4-year cycle. But I think
yeah,
now it's
yeah,
not. So
yeah. It's not now. It's not now.
if
That's
I
for sure. It's definitely different.
if I don't
Yeah.
understand what's driving the relationship, I can't
Yeah,
trust it.
but the way I'm looking at it though is like it's to me it's an indication of maybe the market being too hot, and I'm just not seeing that yet. I don't think the market's hot. I mean, even though we look at stocks, though, you might say it is hot.
Oh yeah, we're just in a popularity contest in equities and in crypto.
But typically, like the goal, like so, a lot of time it doesn't have to happen, no. But a lot of times the markets will top on this end of the PMI structure on the left hand side of the apex, like this. Um, it's happening like that, and typically, and then you know, wait a minute, let's look at this again. Yeah, yeah. So then, yeah, when copper rises against gold is always is has been an economic signal that's near the top. Also, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, when copper, whatever for whatever reason, when copper rises against gold, has been a cycle top, I believe. Yeah, because the stock market topped like right in here or something like that.
Yeah, and it could work out again. Like
This one was weird though. There's like a little inversion, but
It's same with like altcoins rallying as close to the top too.
yeah, that's kind of the idea. Kind of like maybe the Russell too, right? Kind of, near the top. Um,
The Russell's starting
so
to move.
yeah,
It
it is starting. It looks good. Yeah,
should break out.
yeah, I agree. So my thought was, I think
It's all aligning though. It
base
is
case,
interesting. Like thinking that
yeah,
Litecoin's about to break out, the Russell looks like it's gonna relatively outperform finally. Copper gold
yeah, and the
is at the
gold's
lows.
gold's right here. This is basically what tech dev charts all the time. It's what he charts. So it's this kind of he doesn't show you what it is, but this is what it is. He may be doing something a little bit. Maybe it's silver. Maybe he's doing silver and something else. I don't know. This is copper and gold, but um, the other thing is like these 4-year cycles. It's kind of weird. It could be aligned with the U.S. presidency potentially.
Yeah, I mean
I
when the
don't know.
world's on the dollar system and
Yeah, the dollar system.
the
That's
government
function
has
of where they put in office.
more and more impact on
Uh,
monetary policy and what these central banks do. I mean, makes sense that
yeah.
these market cycle peaks usually happen during election years. But this time it's going to be different. It's a long time before we have another election. And I don't think they can keep it going for 3 more years.
Yeah.
Looking at the Russell against SPX is interesting.
Okay.
So low, it looks like prior to the dot-com bubble.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Dang. I have not looked at this. Wow. That's interesting. Look at that. Damn,
And
dude.
you have some pretty significant bullish divergence in RSI on the monthly time frame.
Oh shit, dude. This is wild. And Russell is made up of, is it like what kind of is it not it's not tech stock, is it?
No, it's the
It's
small
not
cap
technology, it's
index.
a small cap index. Okay. Yeah. Dang, they're getting trumped, dude. Wow.
But it could
Uh
rally here. I mean, it's
yeah,
easier. It's just like altcoins. It takes way less
big
money to
time.
move.
Uh-huh. Yeah, look at this beast, dude. That is a beast. I mean, yeah, maybe that's already there. I mean, because maybe gold's a signal. I don't know. I guess you'd probably see it.
You're on a TD9.
This was the this was
If
the
I could
dot
share my
com too.
screen, that'd be cool. Uh,
Oh, can't you share it?
yeah, I can
You
if you
can't share
want
your
to check
screen?
it out. Yeah,
Yeah. So, whatever, man.
let me
Let's do it.
show you. It's not like letting me pull it up. One sec.
That was a good find with the rut versus SPX. Wow. Dang. Question is, where's the bottom? Doesn't look like it's in
Like
yet.
on the
It could
6 month
be right
time
here.
frame, you're on a TD9 buy
Oh, okay. I
signal.
see.
Just like what happened before
Got
the
it.
dot-com blow off. And I've always thought that we would get a blow off in crypto that was similar to 2017, but this might be more extreme. And just after
Yeah, it might
this,
be more extreme. Oops, sorry.
it's a very similar place before the blow off in dot-com, which was like
Yep.
right at here.
Well, and this blow off narrative could be around AI. Could be an AI blow off because AI is fucking powerful, dude. It is. It is the most powerful thing I've ever experienced in my life, dude.
It is, but I don't know how these companies are making money right now. Like their fees are pretty cheap and their costs are so high.
Yeah, but there's room to improve efficiencies, though, right? I mean, so that
But
should
aren't they
help
all
them in
like
the long
losing
run once
money
they
right
get it
now?
figured out.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
because
have
they're
no
like
clue.
constantly like remaking these, like adding more hardware to get better performance, and the R&D costs are pretty expensive. But I don't know. I don't know any of the. I haven't looked at it specifically. There was one thing that
I'm just
Just Play Game wanted me to check out. One chart. So we'll check that out if you're still here. I think he posted it
okay.
on X.
Jazz play game. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, Jazz Play Game. Wanted to look at this chart. I think he
What
was
is it?
taking. I think he's taking this fractal from May to the peak here and overlaying it against price. Yeah, I mean that could happen. It is pretty similar, but I think we're just about to see Litecoin's higher time frame breakout, and the corrective structure to me more looks like a running flat. If this is like Elliott wave 1212 or something, I'm not a expert in that analysis, but I'd expect Litecoin's next move to dwarf the speed of any other prior rally since maybe 2017 or 2013. Similar to this. So I don't think Litecoin's next move is going to be anything similar to what we've seen the past 8 years.
Yeah.
And it's not just technical, it's the combination of everything that makes me think that. It's the on-chain fundamental, technical, macro combined into one,
Narrative sentiment. Yeah.
yeah, narrative.
All of it.
Uh, but yeah, you were saying earlier that this is kind of like a ascending triangle. I don't know why in crypto, but the assets that consolidate around the lows always perform the best or have the highest percentage rallies. Like the whole market rallied
What is
before
this?
Dogecoin even moved in 2020.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What was this? Is there a fractal or something you're seeing here?
Oh, I was just referring back
Oh,
to what you were covering
there's
earlier,
a lag.
saying,
Oh, okay.
yeah, there's a delay
There's a
on the
lag though.
stream. If you look
Yeah.
on the VDO, is my screen shared there? Maybe it's not.
Oh no, it's not. I can't see it.
Oh, dang. I could add it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see. Um, how do I? It doesn't let me share my screen in here. Let's
Oh,
see.
what is the price right now? It's still 110, 111? Yeah, 112. Okay. 989 though. Oh, I see something.
It's just this OBS blank screen.
Yeah, it's just an OBS blank screen. Yep, that's
Video
what I see.
settings.
What in here? You made that? You tied it all together or what?
Oh yeah, I don't know how to do this, so I'll just skip it for now.
Like those lamps.
Yeah, just play. If you follow it backwards, for that also follows too. It points to how compressed. Yeah,
Sure.
it does. I think all this price action, this chop and grind, is just accumulation and volatility compression.
Yeah.
It doesn't even like every time frame, even 5-day CMF looks extremely bullish. Uh,
Oh, show us CMF again. Yeah. It still look.
yeah, on whatever time frame you choose, it's
What does the
it's
5 day look like?
I was just on it. It looks like this. It's at a higher high than it's been the last few years. Well, price is correcting. So just showed some bullish divergence on the lower time frames. Just I think once we grind out this bottom here, we either move up for one more correction or this just takes off. I don't know.
Takes off. Takes off.
I think
ETF
most likely.
approval. Yeah.
I don't know what the drama was on the ETF rule change. I don't. Is anyone
I
familiar with
don't
it?
even know. Yeah, I didn't read too much into it, but sometimes the information that comes from there is, yeah, I don't know. It, it has 1 month left. They, I've seen Steve McClurg out promoting it. So, I mean, not promoting it directly, but he's been on a lot of podcasts recently. Leads me to believe that it's likely that it does get approved. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so that would be like August, that would be October 2nd. And then remember they released that framework that already said if you met these requirements and had 6 months of Coinbase futures trading, then you'd they basically built a framework to get ETF approval.
Mm-hmm.
Litecoin meets those requirements. So I don't understand why they released that framework in June or whenever they did it, June, July, and then not let the ones that are at least Litecoin go through. I don't know why you would reject it. It wouldn't make any sense. Like they're not going to use the CME futures thing because the futures are already there on Coinbase. They have no reason to reject it.
Yeah,
So they should get approved. It's probably just going to get approved any day. I mean, it's possible it could get approved tomorrow.
for sure.
Um,
Litecoin's so boring and nobody's interested because look at the 3-month time frame volatility. This is the lowest volatility on this time frame in history.
that was it.
It's just been declining steadily.
Yeah.
So it's like insanely psychologically hard for 99% of people to be patient in a
Yeah.
market where other things are moving. They
Yeah.
will chase and not make any money.
They chase.
They'll see their
Yeah.
friends make money
They
and they're
chase.
like, "Oh, I should have taken your
Uh-huh.
advice," and then they're still telling the same thing. Yeah, you gotta buy XRP. It's going to $100, and then they
Yep.
get out of their
There's
position.
not.
Not
Yeah,
patient enough.
exactly, dude. No, and they don't have these tools either, though, right? So none of them have the tools that we have, where we go look at actual price charts. You
Yeah,
have
some
to.
people will do like simple technical analysis and follow people online. Others, but I think there's almost zero fundamental analysis or understanding.
Yeah.
That's the real alpha,
Yeah. There's
I
zero.
think.
But
That's
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it is the alpha. Yeah.
that's the only reason. I mean, it's that and sentiment that like charts are fun,
Yeah.
they're cool, but I would never trust them for buying anything. But everything aligns for Litecoin here. Charts, fundamentals, TA on chain, and this
Yeah.
long-term view.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
it is crazy. What time is it?
So set up. Yeah.
11:13.
Yeah. I gotta jump off.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on again. I know I just asked you last minute, but appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think
Yeah.
I think we share basically the same view,
Similar. Yeah.
similar. Mine's I mean same conclusion, slightly different path.
Yeah.
Should we play the Litecoin
Good.
song one of them again
Yeah. Let's do
before
it. Yep.
before you go? I'll give you the correct outro.
Yeah. Do it, please.
Which one? The first two that I showed before? I don't want to show any new stuff, but I just play through those three that I showed.
Yeah. That'd be good. All three of them, or just two? I don't know what the third one is.
Well, there's basically two that I showed in the beginning of that video that might people
Mhm.
might think are one. It's like the same theme.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I have a bunch of other stuff that I think is better, but I'll just save it. All right,
Well, we're close.
are you guys
There's
ready?
13. There's 13 of us in here right now, so
All right, 13 deserving ones.
it's a sign. Yeah,
All right,
it's
well,
definitely a sign, dude.
I'll play it
I
real
just
quick.
popped a 13.
Where'd he go? Wasn't he done? It died, bro. It's over. Wait. I was buried, mocked, memed, forgotten. They said I was too slow, too old, too cheap to chase. But time moves different when your blocks still breathe. You didn't see me, didn't need me, but you will! Oh, you will! Ghost chain.
They said I was a clone, a copy without a crown. But I got the same bones, just no one wrote me down. Still here, frightening. The ghosts they left is lightning. While they dance with smoke and hype, I kept my rhythm tight. Now they're whispering my name, but I already changed the game. You praise the chain with fees, but mock the one that frees. We move the same blocks, but I don't sell dreams. Same code, no cloud, same weight, less shout. You bow to the brand I built without. Dead chain, huh?
Funny. Chain glow.
Whoops. I didn't mean to play that other one. I wasn't paying attention.
I've always liked Litecoin.
Yeah, I tweeted about it in 2017. It's basically Bitcoin, right?
Oh, my bad, master. The music always comes out way louder.
They called it ghost, said it was toast. Called it slow, a boomer's post. Now it's running, now it's hot. Funny how that memory.
I plan to. This one's kind of cool.
You feel that? That's it. The one we've been riding for years. It's moving. Slide that in.
Ambient. It's basically Bitcoin, right?
They called it ghost, said it was toast. Called it slow, a boomer's post. Now it's running, now it's hot. Funny how that memory rots. They said no devs, they said it's dead. But now they tweeting what we said. Screenshots gone, takes a raise. Now they want that silver taste. Gaslight, gatekeep, ghost chain glow. You can fake roots, but they still show. Flip flop fast when the price says go. But we been here, thought you should know. Gaslight, gatekeep, ghost chain burn. First they laugh, now they learn. Ghost chain, still alive. Who's that knocking? We survive. Gaslight, gatekeep, move that goal. Saying OG like they played a role. But we remember every post. Keep the fake love far from close. You dance for views, so fake dreams. Chase the pumps, ignored the beams. Now the truth's too loud to miss, and you're pretending this was bliss. You like what coins? Since when, bro? You said like coins just for show. Now it moves and you repost like you sit in front row close. They get carpet, then gaslit. Now the chain goes through their script. You don't hold, you just flip. We don't need you in the clip. Gaslight, gatekeep, ghost chain rise. We stayed low, now touch the skies. You missed out, now switch your stance now. This ain't your second dance. Gaslight, gatekeep, we don't chase. Whole chain built on quiet grace. While you spin your viral bit, we just hold and never quit.
Always said Litecoin was underrated. It was obvious. Wait, what's my password again?
They said it couldn't happen. Now they don't know what they're seeing. Every chart I watch said truth. Not hopium, just deeper roots. While they chase the trending lies, I held the chain they never tried. Now the shift begins to show, and they all ask how could this grow. They missed the math, ignored the spine. Now they're shocked it's flipping time. Is this real? No way it flips. Wait, is Litecoin back? This can't be it. Flipping everything that's not supposed to win. Flipping everything. This wasn't in the spin. Flipping everything. The chart must be broken, but I knew the moment the silence was golden, 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 golden. happening everything. The market forgot that truth doesn't care what bags you bought. Happening everything. They never saw it, but it was always here.
You had your chance.
Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I held you, love. I waited. You built. I stayed. You sold. I watched. You scroll. You said it's straight. You said I'm wrong. Now you're back, like nothing's gone. You had your chance. You had your shot. You changed your mind. I did not. You had your chance. You made your play. I stayed the course. You walked away. You had your chance.
Sorry, not sorry.
We won. You drove. We stayed. You smoked. You flipped. We froze. You ran. We rose. This ain't revenge. This ain't spite. It's just you didn't believe till it looked right. You had your chance. You saw the signs, now you want it. After the climb, you had your chance. It's plain to see. You chose the noise, I chose belief.
Alright guys. That's... I think I shed too much, but there's still this mania playlist that I have that I think we're gonna keep this. If this rallies, this will be like a party 24/7. I hope all of you are ready. Nobody's ever been. I don't think anyone's done this much preparation for an expected market event ever. I just don't know, competing with all the other influencers. It should work because almost 3,000 hours? Dang, bro. Well deserved. Glad you got that. It's been so long since I grinded games. I have an addictive personality, so I remember I broke my like Halo 2 and Halo 3 discs when I was like 12 to 15 years old because I had to force myself to quit. I achieved everything I wanted. Thanks, Just Play. You had your chance. I tried to put every theme that this community should feel into this content. I tried to think of everything. Maybe I left out some stuff, but it's a lot. I really want to play the hype EDM, like call response style chants that I made. People will say like, what the hell? Like, who the hell? What the fuck is this? I can see if Litecoin's pumping, people just not knowing what's going on. The price should rise very fast, and then to have this stuff being blasted and a lot of people watching would be fun. And just like in manias, people are all so confused, but we will just be having a party. What's up, T Sigma? Thematic albums are your favorite? Yeah, I never. I know there's some like pop stars that have done similar like concept albums. I was trying to tell a story through like 15. Really, it's like 50 total. People will think I'm insane, but whatever. Gonna cruise the mean streets. I cruise the streets during the day. I'm trying to get up earlier, so I probably won't do 2 in one day. I want to do one like at sunrise, because I have a monologue for that. And I know I said I was going to do some planned segments. I just haven't yet done it. I figured out the recording locally so I can upload it. And I've been having problems with the IRL toolkit just shutting down. I guess everyone's having problems with them. That's why my stream keeps going offline. There's something messed up with their servers. It's like hundreds of people complaining in their Discord chat about it. Yeah. We're ready. We just need price to cooperate. And we need to build the network effects of the stream. Once I've released all the Litecoin stuff, I can just play it on loop when I'm not here. Yeah, a lot of people might feel like geniuses after this. There's just not many people. So if this actually happens, which I think it will be quite the adventure. That's part of the reason I want to do IRL stuff, because I want to document it. I think this could be bigger mania than 2017 with Litecoin leading it. And it'll be cool for me personally, even if just to like have some historical record of my mindset and what happened. Documenting history is part of this project. Yeah, proof of work is the only thing non-political. Proof of stake to me is just political money reinvented cryptographically, which is fine, but I just don't like thinking that at some point into the future, some person with enough stake, government, or just influential people just decide to change the rules, and you have no ability to opt out. Alright, see you, Master. Thanks again coming on here. I'm gonna get off here in a sec. Send Litecoin to the moon. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get off now. In the future, I'm gonna structure these streams. Once we have more people in here, I'll probably always start with fundamental and on-chain data. Recap the larger thesis that's relevant most long-term. And go over higher time frames. Then lower time frame. Lower time frame technical analysis is irrelevant after like 10 hours. So for new people, that if new people do come in here, you guys will probably hear the same thing repeated. Big facts. Yep. Alright guys, well, that's it for the stream today. This is processing Aaron, so I just had part 2. I don't want to post it because it's only like the end. My camera shut off because it was overheating, and then I turned it back on for the end. I've been getting quite a few people just on the streets, like thinking, hey, that's cool, man, what are you doing? And then subscribing. That's like where most of my recent subscribers have come from, which is cool. But I think these recordings in 1080p look pretty good, so I'm just gonna do that from now on. Live stream it, but then upload in 4K. Alright guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for the likes and subscriptions if you subscribed today. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Sleep well. Or have a good day if you're waking up. See you all later. I'm just going to transition this to one of the ambient loops. And I'll be back in the morning.